Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a Thanksgiving cook with me where I share all of my Thanksgiving family recipes with you guys and our traditions, my Thanksgiving / Christmas a little bit, tablescape, and all of the goodness. So stay tuned for all of the recipes and motivation for your Thanksgiving meal this year. Happy turkey season. I don't know about anybody else, but I am so pumped to dive into some turkey this year. I pre-prepped a lot of this stuff so that I could show you guys my recipes before Thanksgiving. And I'm so excited to share some of my secrets with you guys, starting out the video with my pumpkin pie recipe, which is super easy. My pumpkin pie recipe for the crust, which is what you're going to start out with, you're going to need 1 3/4 cups flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of table salt, 6 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter, 1/4 cup of shortening, and 7 to 8 tablespoons of ice water. Now the key here is to make sure you combine all of your dry ingredients, and then you're going to dice up the butter cold. You want to keep everything nice and cold, so dice up that butter and just work it into the flour mix until it is about pea size, and then you will add in your shortening and do the same thing until it's about lima bean size. And then when you add your ice cold water, I added in about 4 tablespoons at a time, and I just run through it with my fingers. You don't want to overwork it. And then you want to put it into a disc shape, refrigerate it for 30 minutes, and then flatten it out. I am not the best baker by any means, but this is an amazing recipe. What I like to do is form it to my Pyrex pie dish, and I will cut off the excess like I am showing you guys here with a knife, and then I will form just with like my fingers and my thumb. I'll kind of form a little bit of a like decorative crust. I don't know. I'm again not an expert by any means. This is so simple though, you guys, and it costs like less than $2 to make, so it's even cheaper than buying pie. And I love pumpkin pie. It's one of my absolute favorites. But once you are done making that crust nice and pretty, you just want to make sure that you pop some holes in the bottom of the crust so that it doesn't bubble up, and make sure that this pan is pre-greased or is sprayed down as well. And then you're going to want to cook that at 375 for about 15 to 16 minutes. Now for the filling, I use the easy pie filling and follow the directions on the back of the can. So I will not include that recipe for you guys because it is right on the back of the can. And then you pour it into your crust. Now I pre-baked my crust. This is called blind baking your pie crust. And the one thing you want to watch out for is that crust getting too golden brown, but you're going to want to cook it according to the directions on the back of the easy pie filling pan. And it turned out perfectly. It is so good, but I did cover the crust with tin foil after about 10 minutes just to make sure it didn't get too brown. Moving on to the turkey, which is my most favorite part. It's disgusting, but you're gonna wanna make sure that you take out that turkey neck and the gizzards and heart, which is in the neck cavity. Take that out and set it aside for later because you are going to wanna use that for a stock. And make sure that you rinse off your turkey really well and pat it dry with paper towels. And now I'm moving on to the aromatics and the inside of like seasonings for the turkey. I like to cut up 1 medium yellow onion and then a few celery stalks, and you're going to put half of that onion onto the bottom of the pan, and you are going to put all of the celery in there. 1 can of beer, which is so like strange, but it's a family tradition, and it turns out really yummy. And then 2 cups of turkey stock, and then you're going to place your turkey right on top of that. And to season the turkey, now my secret to a super moist, delicious browned turkey is by using butter in between the skin and the meat itself. I'll show you guys how I separate the skin from the meat, but this is what I season it with, which is a little bit of rosemary, poultry seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a stick of butter. You're gonna wanna mix that all together and then set it aside until you're ready to season your turkey and butter up your turkey. So here I'm taking off my rings and my ponytail because you don't wanna get any of that nastiness caught in your rings or in the ponytail. So to separate the skin from the meat, you literally just stick your hand. You see how I'm kind of maneuvering my hand between the meat and the skin? I know this is just so grotesque. It's disgusting, but I promise you the turkey will turn out so much better. So just with your hands, that's all you need to separate that skin from the meat. You're just gonna push all the way to the front, and then you're gonna push your butter into it after you are done. And it is really hard because the surface is slimy and the butter is slimy. So just get that butter in there the best you can, and then massage. You can see here I'm like massaging with one hand and placing the butter with the other. Massage over the skin to make sure that the butter is spread evenly. And this is going to correctly. I wait until there's about an hour left on the turkey, and then I start prepping everything else. I do a little tray with olives and pickles, and then I will do a meat and cheese tray. My kids love to snack while I'm getting the Thanksgiving meal ready, so that's why I like to have all of this stuff set out and kind of fills your time so you're not having a bunch of downtime in the kitchen. The wild rice, like I said, takes an hour, so at this point I just have the wild rice and the turkey cooking. The turkey is almost at temp, and I have about 55 minutes to wait until that wild rice is completely cooked. The stuffing recipe that I'm sharing with you guys today is a wild rice sausage stuffing recipe. My family likes to add mushrooms. You don't need to add mushrooms, and I didn't for the sake of this video, but it is one of our most favorite family recipes. This sausage wild rice stuffing is to die for. Highly recommend you guys check it out. So the next step in the stuffing, when the wild rice is just about ready, I will dice up half of a yellow onion, and then I will take a pound of ground sausage, brown that up, add the sausage in there, and once it's thoroughly cooked, you are going to want to set that aside and combine it with the wild rice. When it's all done, make sure that your wild rice is cooked thoroughly and is drained so that it doesn't get watery, and then you will move on to the remainder of the stuffing, which is simply just cooking your stuffing according to the back of the box. Now here I am doing mashed potatoes. I did about 10 Idaho potatoes so that we had lots of leftovers. I love doing Thanksgiving leftover recipes, and mashed potatoes last so long in the freezer, and I love to just like take a little bit out at a time. So I just took advantage of making a big Thanksgiving dinner to show you guys what I would typically do if I were hosting a big meal. Like I said, I cut up 10 Idaho potatoes, and I want to mention here as well that all of these items except for the wild rice are from Aldi, and I did this entire Thanksgiving meal for less than $25. Yes, less than $25, and I got a 15-pound turkey and all of my items, including the pie, the sausage, the green bean casserole, and the mashed potatoes, everything for less than $25. It was such a great deal. So I want to show you guys how you can do your Thanksgiving dinner on a budget. I, like I said, still cooked for about 10 people so that I could freeze the leftovers and use the leftovers in the best leftover recipes ever. So anyways, I'm using a box of herb and a box of turkey stuffing. I'm going to mix them together, and then once that is fluffed up, you can combine it with the wild rice and the sausage. And moving into my green bean casserole, I just do 2 cans of green beans. You can use fresh green beans here as well. It just has to be about 4 cups of green beans, and then I do a can of cream of mushroom. Now the recipe typically will call for a little bit of milk. You can add a splash of milk if you'd like, but I find that it gets a little bit soupy if you add milk, so I skipped it here in today's recipe. And then I do a little bit of salt and pepper just to season it up. You're gonna mix that all together, and then you will top it with some crispy onions. And the crispy onions that I show in this video are from Costco, but I did get a little thing of crispy onions for about 70 cents. Anyway, so here I'm showing you guys fluffing up the stuffing, which I then combine with the wild rice and the sausage, and it smells divine. This is the best ever. Then you're gonna wanna put that into a casserole dish and cook that at about 350 for 40 minutes or until it is a little bit golden brown on top. And I like to time that out with the green bean casserole. That takes about 30 minutes. So I start the stuffing first, and then I'll move on to the green bean casserole next. And once I put the green bean casserole in, I will start making my gravy. I will start the mashed potatoes because those take about a half hour. And I just like to take the leftover juices from the turkey. This is the best gravy, and I will just put it in a large measuring cup and strain it. I usually double strain it, and the strainer is a little bit big for catching those smaller bones, so make sure that you guys are paying attention to any kind of like bones, etc., that could be leaking through your strainer. Again, my strainer wasn't the super greatest for this. And then I combine it with that turkey neck and gizzard and heart stock that we did earlier in the video with the bay leaf, and I combine it all together, and then I start to make a little bit of a flour and water slurry. This is the key to getting really like lump free and smooth gravy. You can also use cornstarch. Cornstarch is another alternative if you don't want to have gluten in there. I actually prefer cornstarch. I just didn't have it on hand in the house, but that flour water slurry will help to prevent the clumps in there. And then I like to use a whisk to mix it all together. And I do some parsley, salt, and pepper, mix that together. I don't want to over season. I don't want to overwhelm. I'm definitely one of those people that likes to put gravy all over everything on my plate. I just take like a whole ladleful and just slap it on everything. So I don't want it to be over seasoned. And then your gravy is done and you can set it to the side. For the mashed potatoes, I do a little bit of whole milk. I do 2 sticks of butter. Now the key with mashed potatoes is you don't want to over mash them because it will change the consistency of them. So don't over mash them, do just the right amount. So you'll see me switch over to a rubber spatula here after I'm done mixing in that butter. And then my family likes to add a little bit of sour cream. I've seen some people do cream cheese, which is really interesting to me. And then I will do salt and pepper. Again, I keep the mashed potatoes a little bit more bland because with the gravy and everything else, there's so many other flavors going on. I like to keep my mashed potatoes just simple and buttery. And here's the turkey all done. I'm having Mike carve that. I did not show that in this video. Mike traditionally will carve the turkey, and that's what he did for me today. But I got that nice golden brown skin. That's what you're looking for. And then here is the green bean casserole and the stuffing all finished. Everything came together so well. It took me a total of like 3.5, 4 hours to cook everything. Sipped on some red wine while I was cooking, listened to some Michael Bublé, and here is my Thanksgiving tablescape, which is like a merry Thanksgiving tablescape. It is definitely more so like Christmas than it is like Thanksgiving, but I have Christmas decorations in the house right now, and I just incorporated just a really traditional, beautiful tablescape on a budget. I hope you guys give some of these recipes a try. I hope it inspired you to try a couple of new recipes this year. If you try any of them, tag me over on Instagram. It is the most heartwarming thing when I see you guys trying my recipes in your own home. All right, you guys, I will see you on Friday for a part 4 to my Christmas Decorate With Me. Okay, bye guys.